Okay, so hello everybody and everywhere. It's nice to see all of you again. And we are continuing our course on presence and awareness. And first of all, we sit comfortably. So we sit comfortably. It means that we like the way we're sitting. And you remember last time we were discussing how to sit, how to control the body, and I just briefly remind you that we are sitting stable. Usually they said crossed legs, but the meaning of crossed legs is first of all sitting stable, having good support, having a stable ground. This is how we sit for meditation. And then our back is straight, but it means first of all that we are balanced, and our lower back is not curved. So we are sitting comfortably, balanced, and our chest and our shoulders are open. And then we can breathe smoothly. And then check the position of your hands. How is the position of your hands? You check. Put your hands the way that they can help you with the balance. You can put them on the knees or on your thighs, depending on your proportions. And the teeth, lips, and eyes are not shut tightly, just relaxed. And then the tip of the tongue is touching the palate right behind the upper teeth. And then we can breathe through the nose even if our mouth opens up. And the last but not least is that we have presence in all our body. They said that our body is relaxed but under control. So we feel the presence in all our body. And if we are sitting this way, then our mind comes down very naturally. We don't really need to do some special concentration meditation, but just accepting the proper position of our body, we change the state of our mind. So we are sitting like this and we are getting used to this position. The body is balanced, also the head is balanced. The head is balanced in relation to the torso. And for this we can tuck our chin slightly in. And it helps to stretch a little bit the muscles of our neck, which are very often tensed. And then, when muscles are stretched, they can relax. And it is improving the blood circulation. So this is the position, and try to sit as relaxed as possible, but with presence. So the body is toned. It's not lax. And when we are practicing in general, when we are practicing presence and awareness, and this is a kind of meditation also, or we are practicing different kinds of meditation, there is one important thing, one important aspect of presence and awareness that we can use in our activity, in both spiritual activity and mundane activity. And what is that? It is awareness of a goal. Yeah? So we have a goal. But why we have a goal? We have a goal because it has value for us. And when we have a value, it is structuring our perception. It makes us more composed, more concentrated. So this is one of the important aspects of presence and awareness, which is described in ancient Buddhist texts, for example. One of the aspects is the consideration of a goal. And you know that, for example, in Tibetan Buddhism, when we are starting any kind of practice, we start with setting a goal. We call it like refuge and bodhicitta, but what is that? This is setting the goal. Yeah? So even you are not Buddhist, you don't have to be Buddhist, but we can use this principle, and in this way, when you are trying to do something, we remind ourselves about our goal. What is our goal? What is valuable for us? Okay, for example, we are all here. We came for this course. We are going to spend many hours in this course. Why? For what purpose? So now we try to remember this. What is keeping us in this course? What are we going to achieve? So we remember this goal. It can be the goal, the purpose of like bringing benefit for all sentient beings. It's a big thing. But it can be also a small thing. Small thing like, for example, learning how not to get distracted. How to be more effective, that's okay. It can be a mundane goal, but still there should be some value in it. So we know that we are doing this not because somebody told us to do this, because then we have no goal. But we came by ourselves, so it means that we want to achieve something. So we remember what is our goal, we, in Russian language, we have an expression that literally can be translated as something which is warming up our soul. Yeah. So some kind of intention, some kind of goal which is warming up our soul. It's a very good expression. So we feel it, we feel the value of what we are doing or what we are going to do. We start with this, and then we can feel that the presence of the awareness of a goal is making us more composed. And oftentimes, when we are systematically doing some kind of work or study, some activity, and then it becomes a part of our routine, and then it becomes more automatic. So we lose the freshness of the goal, and we just do things because we got used to. But doing things because we got used to is not related to presence and awareness. So we refresh our goal, we refresh our aim, that warms up our soul, that warms up our heart. and we feel the importance of our goal. And then observe what is changing in you. So we are not just sitting, but we are sitting with a purpose. And then if you notice that our mind runs away, we can bring it back. So we keep our mind next to ourselves. We keep our mind with us. So we are sitting comfortably and we have our goal in mind. Sometimes it's important to practice without any consideration of a goal. Then the consideration of a goal becomes an obstacle. But in this case, when we are developing presence and awareness, it is an important element that keeps us, protects us from distraction. Because when we do something important for us, we don't want to get distracted. But when we do something which is not interesting, then we easily get distracted. As my teacher Chogyal Norbu was always explaining, the very first capacity that we need is the capacity of having interest. So when we have interest in something, then we have a goal, then we have a value. And it keeps us on a track. So it's an important capacity to have interest towards something. Sometimes people say that in order to achieve success, we need a passion. Passion can be good in many activities, but sometimes, like for meditation, passion can be a little bit too much if you have passion. Then we can easily become a fanatic, which is not good. Then maybe we can have some success, but maybe we success in something else. But we keep our interest. And then we check, we control our position, so we notice if we are still sitting stable way, if we are still balanced, if our breathing is still smooth, and shoulders and chest are open. We check if our jaws are not clenched or relaxed. And also our eyes should be relaxed. We can direct our gaze into space in front of us, or we can direct it in the direction of our nose. Because the condition of the eyes is very much related with the condition of our mind. So gaze is an important thing. So you can see that when somebody is very present, then the gaze is composed. And then all body is relaxed but under control. You can move if you need. There is no problem with movement. And we are going to deal with movement in this session. Okay. And for not getting stiff, because I know that many people who are here, they have a lot of experience in practice and meditation, but sometimes it's also good to refresh. And particularly if there are some new people, then it's important to do practicing in shorter sessions, shorter periods of time, but repeating these sessions more often. So what we can do? We can still maintain presence, but now try to move. Try to move your hands, for example. Try to move your head, your torso. But then you observe, you notice how you're moving. So you're not moving chaotically. You're moving, and also you feel in your body, you feel your movement. Not just mentally project what you want to do mechanically. But you do something, you can look at your hands, for example, from this side, just noticing. It's like exploring the world again, anew. Yeah. Now with presence. not being concentrated on some particular thing, but just being present in what we are doing. So try to do it and see the difference between our ordinary way. What is our ordinary way? Our ordinary way is something. Yeah, this is our ordinary way. You understand? Yeah, I think I showed it very, very clearly. This is our ordinary way. But then we need to scratch our head. Okay, it's good to have a head to scratch, no? So we can do it different way. We can do it. It's like the same, but with presence. Yeah. You know, there is there is a joke. What's the difference between a samurai with a sword and samurai without a sword? So a samurai without a sword is the same samurai as with a sword, but without a sword. Yeah. So there is the difference. So here it's all exactly the same, but with presence. Yeah. Okay. So try to move with presence, and then you can discover that moving with presence is joyful. Moving with presence is pleasant because we are moving with our body. Yeah? Then we can do very, very simple things. You can rock a little bit on your chair. Just rock, but with presence. And when you rock with presence, what do you feel? You feel some sensation in your support. Yeah, you know, we have a very important organ that supports us when we are sitting. Yeah, it's very, very important. Also, for some people, at least for Russian people, this is also a kind of a sense organ for detecting troubles. Because we have an expression in Russian language. Russian language is really rich. So in Russian language, we have an expression that somebody is saying, I feel a trouble, but how do you know? I feel it with my ass. Yeah. Oh yeah, then it's clear, because this is something that we developed during the evolution. We developed to detect troubles. Yeah. Okay. So not only we can detect troubles, but we also can rock on it and feel. Yeah, I call it exploring the world from another side. Yeah. So I feel it's nice, no? It feels nice. Usually we just sit, but we can rock a little bit and we can feel something in our body. And in general, we can touch things and experience pleasure from touching things. Yeah? Try to explore the world in front of you, for example. Try to touch different textures, like wood, skin, leather, hair, textile, glass, ceramics, plastic, silicone, metal, stone, whatever. Yeah, you try, and when you touch, you try to feel what you touch with presence. Notice the presence. My only warning is, if you're touching yourself, please don't go too far. Okay. So touch things, and then you discover that the world around you, do you like the world around you when you touch it? It's enjoyable, no? It's enjoyable. Yeah, those things that we usually don't notice. Wow. And there are many ways you can touch it. You can touch it with the palm of your hand. You can touch it with another side. Yeah? Try to touch with another side. Try to touch with your fingertips. Try to touch with your nails. You can rub, you can scratch, you can stroke, yeah, in different ways. But what is important? Be present in your contact. Be present in your touch. Okay. Okay. And now just sit with presence, relaxed, but present in all of the body, under control. And then again, we remember which is our purpose. For example, I can propose a purpose, yeah? I can propose a goal to learn how to not be distracted. That's a decent goal, huh? That's useful for everyone. For spiritual people, for ordinary people, like normal people, not spiritual. Okay. And today we are going to deal with breathing, because this is a manifestation of our energy, our breathing. And we will do something very, very simple. We just notice how our breathing is. We just notice if our breathing is, for example, shallow or deep. It's not that we observe breathing, there are some special techniques when we observe breathing, how it's entering and going out, we are concentrating under the nose, etc. No, we just notice. We're just noticing if our breathing is, for example, slow or fast. Just notice how it is. Because usually we don't care much about our breathing. But how is our breathing? Is it slow or fast? Just knowing. Is it shallow or deep? Just knowing. Is it smooth or rough? Is it monotonous or jumping. So we are just noticing how our breathing is. It's important to know the condition of our breathing because it indicates our general condition. So not trying to do some specific breathing, but just noticing how our breathing is. So then you can notice that just observing our breathing can change the breathing, can change the rhythm, can change the depth, can change the quality. What we are just observing, we are not trying to change it. And then observe how your breathing is changing the direction. Because it's a kind of a crucial points of breathing when we are changing the direction from inhalation to exhalation, from exhalation to inhalation. So just notice if it goes smoothly from one direction turning into another. Not trying to make it smooth, but checking if it's smooth or not. So our breathing, our system of breathing, like our lungs, our diaphragm, our ribs, it's a system which is oscillating, yeah? Oscillating system. So it is like a pendulum, yeah? Going one way, another way, one way, another way, like a swing. Yeah? So breathing is like playing on a swing, rocking on a swing, one side, another side. And you know, we have beautiful moments when we are on a swing. You know, when we have the most beautiful moments, yeah? When it's getting suspended in the air, right? And we feel we are flying. And then very smoothly we go backwards. So we can experience exactly the same when we are breathing. But this swing we have inside of us. So it's like a swing, a pendulum, a spring, an oscillating system. So just notice it and notice the moments of changing. And then you can discover that it is going very smoothly, one side, another side. Inhale, suspended, like flying, and then exhale, and then again from this side, flying, then going back, flying. So notice, because this is how this system works. So it can be described in the same with the same mathematical formula as the movement of a pendulum. And in Tibetan language, not in language, but in Tibet, in yoga, it is called breathing like a barley seed. Yeah. But why is it like a barley seed? Because of course, in Tibet they didn't know what sinusoid is, no? But they had barley seed, and it has the same principle. Yeah. So it means that it's starting slowly, then increasing the intensity, and then slowing down. Then the other way around, starting slowly, increasing the intensity, then going down and going to zero, and then going another direction. So this is how the barley seed looks like. Yeah, barley seed looks like a sinusoid. Yeah. And this is how it is in our breathing. So we can try and notice this kind of movement. And when we notice, we enjoy it, like rocking on a swing. Okay, let's try it. Don't try to make something special with your breathing. Just know how your body is breathing. Your body is doing perfectly it without you. You know, sometimes we just leave our body lying on the bed. We go to different worlds, you know, like having dreams. Our body is still breathing. Yeah. Okay. So let's be just present with the breathing of the body. Noticing the cardinal points of change in the direction. And then we can notice that we have a kind of a natural suspension when we are changing from inhalation to exhalation, from exhalation to inhalation. Okay. So now we can relax and just observe how we are breathing without even observing that. So just let the breathing alone. And notice if you can detach your mind from it now. Does your mind still continue to observe? Yeah, you see? So it means that already it's developing a habit. Yeah? Even you don't want it to observe, but it's still observing. Yeah? It means that it's working. Yeah? The presence is being developed. Okay. And then we do something for developing this capacity, because also you can check how you feel with your mind. Yeah? Did the state of your mind change while you were breathing? Show me. Yes, no. Yeah. See, the state of mind is dependent upon breathing. It's all interdependent. And an exercise that we do now, why I'm going to teach it, because many years ago, I think in 2012, I was preparing a big online course on meditation. I was requested by a Russian edition, Russian franchise of Yoga Journal to create a meditation course for online. Because it was the time when this fashion on mindfulness and meditation, it was growing. So they asked me to prepare this course, and I prepared something, and then I had a chance. I was lucky because Chogyal Namkha Norbu was giving a retreat, my teacher, and I was in this retreat, and I came to him and I asked some of his advice, what I could include into this course. And unexpectedly, I didn't expect it totally, he advised me to do a special kind of breathing, to add to this course, a special kind of breathing, like yogic breathing with ah and hum. And how is it? It's called one of the ways to do so-called indirect breathing or rough breathing. And this is the way how we can control our breathing. So how is it done? First of all, what's the difference between direct breathing and indirect breathing? And I'm sure most of you know that, but I will still explain it. So the difference is that direct breathing or smooth breathing is very natural. Then there is no obstacle on the path of this stream of air. So it goes in and out without any obstacle, normal way. So when we have our breathing smooth and clear, it is like this, making almost no sound. And what is indirect breathing or rough breathing? It is all like studied in Yantra Yoga, but not only Yantra Yoga. Some people think that it is only in Yantra Yoga, but also in Hatha Yoga we have it. It's called Ujjayi. So it means that we control our vocal cords. We control our vocal cords, and then there is a kind of sound like this. Can you hear the sound that I'm making? Okay. So, and of course, if you are exaggerating, and Chogyal Namkha Norbu was always joking about this, he was saying like when people are sleeping, then they make indirect breathing, but this is more like... I am lucky I don't hear myself when I'm sleeping. Some other people are not that lucky. You my father, I tell you a story, and this is not just a story of my life, but this is a story about meditation and how the mind works. My father was snoring terribly. First of all, he had quite a big nose. This characteristic Jewish nose that has a special name called schnobel. Yeah, some people know this word. So he had. I don't have this schnobel, but he really had this schnobel, and and it was curved, it was big, so it was perfect instrument, like a trumpet, and this was one thing. And then another thing was that my father, he was fighting all of his life. He was a fighter. All of his life, it was a war. Yeah. So in his dreams, he was continuing this war. He was fighting, beating, running, different kind of things. And of course, it reflected in his snoring. And not only that, he was also making a sound with his teeth. In the book of Apostle John, I think in Apocalypse, yeah, the revelation of John, I think it is mentioned that in the hell there is this sound made by teeth, something like this. I'm sure those who study the Bible, I don't know this expression in English, but I'm sure you understand what I'm talking about. So from my childhood, I knew that sound, because the way my father was doing that, it was extremely loud. Yeah? And sometimes he had his own room, his own bedroom, but sometimes my father would take me with him. Maybe we go somewhere and we were staying in a hotel in the same room, or even worse, we would take overnight train, like to Moscow, for example. We had an overnight train, and then I'm confined with my father in the night, and sometimes I did not have enough time to fall asleep first. So, and nothing was helping. I had good relationship with my father. I could a little bit kick him or wake him up, but it didn't work because he would fall asleep again, and then it would continue. So I can even see some people have this experience in your bodies. It is reflected, this experience. And then my system had to find a way to survive. Survival mode. And then I discovered a way to survive. And the way to survive was that instead of trying to block this sound, I was listening to the sound. I made this sound the focus of my attention, and I was just immersing myself into this sound. And then I started to have fun, So I was observing. And then, of course, when we are concentrated on something, at some point we become distracted, right? Whatever you do, at some point you become distracted. So I did concentration on a sound, my job. And then at some point I become distracted from that, you see? And I fall asleep. Yeah. So this is really about how the mind works. But now we are breathing without exaggerating so much. So train a little bit. There are tricks, and I'm sure that Yantra yoga teachers or some good Hatha yoga teachers, they know many tricks how to do it. I know one trick that works well for me, that I'm just touching this point with my finger. If it doesn't work for you to make this indirect breathing, I'm just touching the middle of my throat. We call it Adam apple, yeah, something like this. Like men have it bigger, women have it less, But now in these times already, you don't know who has what. But whatever, you still have the throat. Both men and women, we still have the same kind of throat. Yeah, so it doesn't matter who you think you are. You have a throat anyway. So there is a very sensible point here in this center of your throat. You don't need to press it. You don't need to press it. You just touch it, and then you notice how you breathe. Did it work for you? Did it change your breathing? No, not really. Try to press a little bit more, but don't exaggerate. Don't suffocate yourself, but feel it like sensitive. For me, it works immediately. As soon as I touch this point, my breathing changes into different mode. Okay. Did it work for you? Yeah. For some people it worked, for some not. Yeah, and then you try to find another way. I don't know many ways. I know this way. I know that some of yoga teachers, they know different ways how to do it. But in any case, let's try to feel this sound controlling our vocal cords. Okay, and now you observe that when you are approaching the end of inhalation or the end of exhalation, you release it. So you breathe normal way. So you release the control of your vocal cords, and then you breathe normal way. So you're not controlling it all the time. You're controlling it during this period of inhalation or exhalation, but in this, in the vicinity of changing the direction, you release it. Okay. So this is what is called indirect or rough breathing, and you could notice that the duration of your breathing is increasing. Yeah. It's very natural because we control the opening. We control the diameter of a pipe. So it takes more time for the same volume of air to go in and out. Okay. And then what we add, and we add it in a very strange way. Yeah? We add a sound. But we don't make this sound. We feel this sound. Yeah? We feel this sound. So when we are inhaling, we feel the sound of ah, and when we are exhaling, we feel the sound of home. Okay. So in general, this is something which is done in, for example, in Yantra Yoga, it is not done on the beginning level. So that's why I was a little bit surprised when my teacher advised me to teach people these kind of things, even an online course for the beginners. But it is something good because it develops our capacity to be present. Yeah. Okay. So we inhale with ah and we exhale with home. Don't hold. We are not holding. Just a moment of suspension between two movements, between inhalation and exhalation, and between exhalation and inhalation. Okay, let's try to do it. You don't pronounce the sound, you feel it, as if you were pronouncing it, but not pronouncing. You know, like a samurai with a sword, but without a sword. So it's like pronouncing, but without pronouncing. Yeah? I can explain you, I can give you a very clear example how it is pronouncing without pronouncing. Yeah? Because, for example, I know that most of you are a very decent person and you don't allow yourselves to say certain words, but you want to say these words. Yeah? I can say this word, for example, oh shit. Yeah? When somebody is saying us like, and we want to say shit, but I am not a very educated person, you know, I'm quite simple. And so I'm not, you know, I have no habit of controlling this kind of word. So I'm saying, but I'm sure that you are decent, educated people, you're not saying this terrible word, and but you want to say it. Yeah? So, and you know, when you want to say it, even you're not saying, something is happening here, right? Yeah. And then when somebody is very, very, you know, has a good eye and attention, even you are not saying this, but don't even think about it, like your mama said, probably, no? This word does not exist. Yeah, shit exists, but the word does not exist, yeah, you know? Okay. So it's like this. So it's this with this are and whom, it's as if having this word but without having it. Huh? Okay. But very relaxed. Very, very relaxed. Yeah. Don't exaggerate. Yeah. Don't make it fun. Make it a game. Don't make it a job. Yeah. And now just relax. And just remain in a comfortable position, balanced. And notice how is your body, how is your breathing, how is your mind, how did it change? Okay, and now let's try once again. Let's do like 7 cycles of this breathing. And your body is straight, your channels are straight. And then we relax. Okay, how do you feel? How do you feel about your presence? Not in terms of how you feel in general, but what about your presence? Yeah, it's good. Yeah? Working automatically. Don't really need to do something special, something very complicated. Yeah. So this is a good way to maintain presence. And then we also do something else with our breathing, because breathing is movement. Yeah, and we are moving. And for example, how is our breathing? We have lungs. Yeah, I'm sure men, women, cis, trans still have lungs. Yeah, the same. And lungs, how they work? They expand and they contract. Expand and contract. Yeah? So, and then what happens when we are moving? Yeah? For example, when we are bending, when we are twisting. Yeah? When we are bending, the inside, inner space of our body is contracting. And when we unfold, when we raise, it's expanding. When we are twisting, then it is contracting. Then when we are turning back, it's expanding. So you see, the same type of movement, expanding, contracting. And sometimes when we are not present, when we don't know our breathing, that while we are moving, we don't care. and we are twisting and contracting in different ways while we are inhaling. We want to inhale, our body wants to inhale, but we are contracting it. Yeah? And then our body is expanding our lungs, yeah, but we are exhaling at this moment. Yeah. So you see, this is not good for our lungs. This is something very disturbing for our energy. So when we are maintaining presence, yeah, we are maintaining also presence to this, how our movement correlates with our breathing. And for example, if you want to study it in more details, you study Yantra Yoga. Yeah? And then you understand it very well. But in general, you can use it. You can use it in your daily life. Yeah? Controlling your breathing in this way. So coordinating the movement and the breathing and the movement. Yeah. Okay. And another thing which is related, we will do this exercise, some exercise now, but another thing which is related to the breathing is attention. Yeah. Okay. Let's do an experiment. Let's do an experiment. So now just sit and breathe normally. This is how we are exploring how our body, our energy, and our minds are all interconnected. Yeah. Okay. So let's do just a trick, an exercise. So notice how you're breathing, normal way. And then concentrate in the lower part of your body. Direct your attention to the lower part of your body. And notice if your breathing has changed. Okay, and now direct your attention to the upper part of your body, like to the top of your head or even up above your head. Okay, enough. Do you notice what is happening to your breathing? How it's changing? Yeah. Yeah, so when we are concentrating in the bottom, then we have more intense breathing, sensation of breathing, not the breathing, but the sensation of breathing in the lower part of our body, in the abdomen. And then if you are concentrating this, then what happens? More upper breathing, then chest is moving more intense way. So there is a direct correlation between how we organize our attention and how we are breathing. So if you are concentrating always in front of us, for example, on a screen, then also our body is moving there. Yeah? There is some movement. So this is how we can understand the correlation between our breathing and our attention, our concentration. Yeah? Okay, and of course it's related to our presence. Yeah? And to increase our presence, to increase the stability of our mind, we maintain some presence, not very strong attention, but we can maintain some presence in the lower part of our body. And then when we inhale, then we are inhaling from the bottom, feeling up. Yeah? And when we exhale from the top, and then we remain in the bottom. Yeah? So this is the succession. But we do this succession not because we try to manipulate our muscles. No, this is a wrong way. But just because we are keeping some presence in the lower part of our belly. And if you want to have this experience very clearly, you can just put your palm, your hand, below your navel and feel the contact. And maintain this presence of the contact while breathing. Okay. And now just put your hand back on your knee and just relax, observing how your body is breathing. Okay, good. Did you notice how this presence in the lower part of your body is changing the pattern of your breathing? Yeah, very clear, and it's a very natural way. If you try to do the same, just controlling your muscles, you freak out. It's very complicated. If you try first to feel the bottom, then the middle part, then the top, it's very complicated. But you just keep presence in the lower part of your belly and it happens by itself. So it means keeping presence. You see, this is another example of what it means, presence. Yeah? So you feel the presence there. Okay. And now we try to combine it with the movement, and we do what is called purification breathing. And most of you know it very well, but we try to connect it to the idea of training, exercising presence. Yeah? So how we do this purification breathing, and why is it so good? What's the use of it? The use of it is that we have some stale air in our lungs. We have some stale air. The air is not circulating properly. Of course, if you are doing a lot of physical exercises, then everything is circulating well. But if we are not doing physical exercises, or if physical exercises are exciting us too much, for example, you are running for 15 minutes and then you try to sit and meditate. How does it work for you? Maybe not so good, no? Not so well. Or you are dancing for 2 hours and then you try to meditate. Doesn't work so well. Yeah? So we need more gentle way to ventilate our lungs and to expel the stale air. Yeah? Okay. So we inhale from the bottom up, feeling from the bottom up, spreading also our chest, yeah, to the top. And then when we exhale, first we release an excess of an air, about 1/3 of our lungs, but 1/3, of course, we cannot measure, but more or less we feel that our chest goes down a little bit, relaxes a little bit, and then we continue bending. We go down with our body, and we can feel that going down, we squeeze our belly, and it is squeezing our lungs, and the air goes out, not because we are breathing out like normally, but because we are squeezing our body. Yeah, so we can somehow give our diaphragm a rest. Yeah, so we go down exhaling as much as we can, but keeping our back straight. Still keeping our back straight. We exhale, and then we inhale and we go back up. So the moment of going down, when we stop going down and when we stop exhaling, is the same moment. So simultaneously we finish exhaling and going down, and then simultaneously we start going up and inhaling, and when we become erect, then we finish the inhalation. So the process is perfectly coordinated. Just when we start to exhale, first we release some air and then we go down. Yeah? So we do this way, and also it's better to keep our elbows next to our sides, not going to the sides, but keeping our elbows next to our sides, more or less. I try to show here. Yeah, because then we also squeeze our shoulders. Yeah. Okay. So let's try to do it 3 times, perfectly coordinating our breathing and our movement. Okay. So this is an example how we can deal with our breathing. Yeah? And we can apply this principle in our daily life when we are moving, when we are walking, when we are doing some physical exercises. So we control our breathing and not let it contradict the movement of our body. Yeah? So we adjust the movement to the breathing or breathing to the movement, but in any way we harmonize, we make it coherent. And it helps to harmonize our vital energy. So, okay. So now we just sit comfortably. And then we notice how our body is breathing. Just normal way. Just noticing how it's inhaling, exhaling. And now you just relax, like having nothing to do, not pursuing any goal, not trying to achieve anything. And then you can discover that you can maintain presence very naturally. And now we do breathing with ah and hum. We do 7 times and then we relax. And then we relax and just maintain presence natural way without effort, like having nothing to do. Everything is done. And now we do another exercise that we already learned. Just breathe from the bottom up, like which is called like bottle breathing, filling up from the bottom up and emptying from top down. And if it makes things easier for you, then you can hold your hand below your belly, below your belly button, below your navel, and feel the presence down there. And then do just 7 times inhale and exhale in this way, like a bottle. and then relax. Just sitting like everything is done, having nothing to do. Not even trying to observe anything. But then you can notice what is the state of your mind. Okay. And now it's better to end all exercises with this purification breathing. When we are doing exercises with breathing, then it's better to start with these 3 purification breathings. So there is an expanded version of 9, but 3 is also fine. And then when we end, we also do purification breathings. And when we do exercises, whatever exercises we do, we don't do them all the time. We do breaks. We do breaks, and in these breaks, we totally relax and enjoy our state. This is very important. It's not important to always do something, but it's very important to be able to relax and to enjoy our state. Okay, now let's do 3 purification breathings. And then we relax in presence. Okay, good. How do you feel? Good. So if you want to share your experience or you want to ask something, please, you're welcome. But please, when you talk, observe your breathing while you're talking. Yeah. So observe how you're breathing while you're talking, and then you talk with presence. Okay, please, you're welcome. Maybe it was a good way to avoid questions, no? Okay, good. Then I think it is enough for today, and we just sit relaxed, like having nothing to do, like after working day, after working hours, and we are just sitting and waiting for the bus to take us home. Yeah. So if you're working in the factory, you know what I mean. Okay, we have a volunteer. Padma, please.
Okay, while breathing, inhaling and exhaling hum, I can avoid to think in the mental representation in Tibetan of the and hum, and I suppose there is any problem?
No, there is no problem with that.
Okay, just
You
that.
feel like as if it were resounding. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So now we just summarize for ourselves the content of this session. And we feel good about what we did, about what we learned, what we practiced. And checking if you feel satisfaction. And if you feel satisfaction, because satisfaction is the mental factor which makes our karma complete. And if you did something good, that it completes our good karma. It's not very scientific, but it has also it has a scientific sense, yeah? It is called positive confirmation. When we did something, then we need a positive confirmation, a kind of a release of dopamine in our system to stabilize the skill that we developed. Yeah, that's why when they train dogs, that in the end they give something nice to the dog after the dog makes the trick. Yeah, and then it's also important to tell good things to children when they do well, and then you do positive confirmation for them. So we are training our internal Pavlov's dog, you know. And then on the base of this satisfaction, good feeling, we make a wish that may it continue also good and bring benefit both for ourselves and for everyone.